Seneca de Vita Beata, Episode 8. Quod in strage hominum magna avenit, cum ipsa se populus premit, nemo ita cadet ut non et alium in se ad trahat, primique exitio sequentibus sunt, hoc in omni vita accidere videas licet, nemo sibi tantum modo erdrat, sed alieni erdrordres et causa et auctor est, noc et enim ad plicari antecedentibus et dum unus quisque mavult, credere quam judicardere num quam de vita judicatur, semper creditur, versatque nos et praecipitat traditus per manus erdror. This thing, he says, happens in a great crowd or press of people. Avenit here in the third singular indicative, that when the crowd itself, or ipsa populus, the people itself, premit se, with se as the object, presses against itself. In such a situation, no one falls in such a way, ita, here's the adverb of degree that sets up the ut, which is a result clause. We know it's a result clause right off the bat because ut non is a negative result. It cannot be used for purpose. The negative purpose uses ne, the negative result uses ut and a negative. No one falls in such a way that he does not draw down upon himself also someone else, et alium. So in crowd action, when a crowd presses, one person's fall always leads to the fall of someone else. And he says, the first ones are, for those who follow, for a destruction. Now, exitio and sequentibus here form what's called the double dative in grammarian's parlance, a dative of reference and a dative of purpose. Now, you don't want to translate this in any kind of wooden way because we don't have this sort of construction in English, and to try to force the Latin into English will lead to quite a mess. We might want to say something like this, and the first ones are for the destruction of those who follow, or they are the cause of the destruction for those who follow. But both exitio and sequentibus are dative. Now he says, really parenthetically, it is permitted that you should see this thing, hoc, here's our subject, this thing happen, and hoc here is neuter, singular, and accusative, as the subject of this infinitive accidere, that this thing happens in every aspect of human life. So the kind of crowd reaction which he lays out here happens in all aspects of human life. No one goes astray, nemo erat, or is in error, with respect to himself alone or only. And sibi here is another dative of reference. No one makes an error with respect to himself alone, but he is, est, the cause and the source or the author of the error of another person, of someone else's error, or another mistake, alieni erroris, and here we have et, both the cause and the source of another person's error. Now we want to know what is the distinction between causa and auctor, and is this just an instance of pleonasm, that is, a kind of redundancy of speech, or does he intend some kind of distinction between causa and auctor, the source and the instigation, perhaps? Seneca's philosophy is dense, and the style is somewhat difficult, so we will save this last part here for the next episode, specifically the error, which I have referenced with this little graphic.